We're live. We're live. We're back with Masks and Nyarlathotep. The Garblag games. It's been a good 6 months, right, Jeff? Jeff commented that he thought the downtime between the prologue and the adventure was going to be what it's listed in the book of 5 years before we got back to
It
this.
seems we were getting close. I think we were getting close. Felt like it.
Yeah. We've got some new faces. So we did the prologue here previously earlier in the year. Jeff played in that. Megan also played that. She'll also be joining us. She can't make it this week. So Gwen and Louis Salvatore will be returning. Unfortunately, our friends over on the other side of the pond can't play with us because it's the middle of the night for them. So we have Aaron, Pat, and Evan that will be joining us for the rest of this adventure. Unfortunately, Evan also can't make it tonight, but he'll be here next week as well. We'll get to meet his new character. I just realized I don't have the rolls up. So, if you missed it, you can go to Garblag Games on YouTube. You can watch the prologue. It was their adventures in Peru where they fought fat-sucking vampires alongside their friend Jackson Elias. And now we fast forward 5 years later. We're going to pick up and find out whatever he's been up to, what's been going on. They've all received a telegram from their old friend Jackson Elias summoning them to New York to meet with him. And but we'll get into all that. Let's do some round tables first, and then we'll get into this adventure where we're at. We got a little bit of exposition stuff to get out of the way with this. It's a bit of a beast, this adventure, so we'll get that out of the way, and then we'll get playing. So, Aaron, you're up first, my overlay. Can you tell us about your character, please?
I'll be playing Seamus Rook, a young man trained as a burglar, a safecracker. In Los Angeles, and things got a little hot for him. So he decided to join up and head over to Europe and fight against the Germans in World War I. At the end of the war, he was tooling around England, and that's where he met Jackson Elias. They struck up a bit of a friendship as Seamus Rook did a few favors for him on the book that he was working on at the time. Then he moved himself back to Chicago because, well, LA was still off limits for him. A job gone way too bad. Then he got that telegram from Jackson and headed to the Big Apple to see what he could do for his old pal.
Very good. All right. You're going to fit right in with Louis. Pat, welcome to the game. Can you tell us about Veronica, please?
Thank you very much. Veronica West is a determined woman who's fallen into a bit of wealth in her late 30s, as she came from humble upbringings. Her father was a mobster, and her mother was rich, and she learned a lot as a child. She learned from her father to cheat, lie, and steal her way to the top, and she learned from her mother how to survive people like her father. And now she makes a living in her husband's footsteps. The man tragically passed, and she survived him and took on his role as director of the Museum of Natural History.
Very good. In New York City?
Maybe.
Are you based in New York?
Yes.
Are you based in New York? I don't know.
Yes,
I'm curious
Sorry.
where everybody's from. Because you don't have to be from New York, right? You're answering a message and coming here after you get this telegraph. So you don't necessarily have to be from here. That's why I was curious. I know Louis from New York.
I like the Natural History Museum personally, the one that's in New York, and figured I'll have it.
Perfect. Hey, Melissa, I heard you've been tired of hearing Jeff talk in a New York accent all day, but you've shown up here to hear more of it. I can appreciate that. Jeff, tell us about Louis.
Louis Salvatore is from Queens. He's from Flushing, New York. He is a private investigator from a very large Italian family. He's a bit of the black sheep. He's married, but he and his wife don't really talk anymore. He had a daughter as well. Doesn't really get to see her very often. He's spent a little time working for the mob, organized crime families and such, mainly as like blackmailer. He blackmails politicians and law enforcement who get in the way of various bootlegging efforts for some of the major crime families here. And these days his wife kind of kicked him out of the house, and so he's been living above a bakery somewhere near Jamaica, Queens, and he's got a little friend downstairs, the baker's kid, kind of serves as his assistant every now and then. And he, it's not been a good couple of years since Peru. It's not been good.
Let me ask you this: have you kept in touch with anybody after Peru? Some of the old gang. Gwen stomps around New York. Two of you may have run into each other.
I imagine we run in different circles. Hers are clean and well thought of. Mine are dirty and the opposite. But I would imagine maybe we ran into each other every now and then. I like to think that the baker's kid reminds Louis of Jaden every day.
Yeah,
like he's just a spitting image. It's a spitting image. And maybe Louis has become a cricket aficionado and has been keeping tabs on LC. And he has heard through the grapevine that poor things have happened to old Quentin, the professor, and hope for a speedy recovery. I'm
hoping when we make our way to England, we might run into some of those characters.
You think I'm going to make it that far? That's
well, you might not make it that far. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
So, 5 years ago is when the events in Peru took place. All of you have received a telegraph. You received a telegraph from your dear friend Jackson Elias. I'll read it out here for everybody at home. It says, "Have information concerning Carlisle Expedition. Stop. Need reliable investigative team. Stop. Meet January 15th, New York. Stop. Jackson Elias." Now, the Carlisle Expedition, I had sent you all some information, a video. I don't know if everybody got to watch it. There are news clippings in here. You can read at your own leisure. But the Carlisle Expedition was a very publicized expedition. Roger Carlisle was a wealthy American who was going overseas. He claims he had found what could possibly be King Solomon's mines. He went over to over to Egypt and started his search there. He met up with a number of other people. From there, they pinpointed it to Kenya, and they went to Mombasa. Unfortunately, the Carlisle Expedition disappeared in Mombasa for quite some time, and his sister, Erica Carlisle, picked up the trail, and she went over there, and she found the massacre of the Carlisle Expedition when she was over there. So this was a heavily publicized event that took place over the last few years. So everybody's aware of this Carlisle Expedition. You've all heard of it. So when you get a telegraph telling you about this thing that's happened years and years and years ago, it's no longer in the news. It's a little strange. It's kind of out of the norm for Jackson Elias, who typically his MO was chasing after supposed cults and supernatural things and debunking them. He was a famous debunker. His books were always about giving you a realistic spin on everything and how it isn't quite what it seems. But he did leave some of those. He left a lot of details out about Peru that only Louis and the others who were there can attest to. But people would think you were crazy if you brought them up, right, Louis?
People do think I'm crazy when I do bring them up. Why do you think I'm living in a bakery?
The baker's kid. So you get the telegraph, and as you all kind of arrive in New York, or you get the telegraph, you get a call from Jackson Elias, and it's all basically the same. He sounds frightened. It's kind of frantic. He's anxious on the phones, and he just lets you know that he wants you to meet him at the Hotel Chelsea, room 401 at 8 p.m. If you push him for any details or any sort of information, I can't talk about it now. I can't talk about it now. We can do it in person. I can't do it over the phone. Trust me. I'll tell you everything when you get here. I need people I can trust. Is basically the message he gets across. And knowing Jackson, he's a strong man. There's not a lot that shakes him. Again, Louis going through Peru, you knew like he kind of laughed everything off. He was handy with a gun. He was very confident. So this is not like Jackson Elias to be anxious, to be upset, to be frightened. You've never really heard this in your friend's voice before.
He was skeptic to a fault. So if something scares him, that's something new.
That's right. So you're all summoned to the Hotel Chelsea. The Hotel Chelsea is located on West 23rd Street, New York City. It was once an apartment building. It's been since renovated in the last few years. into something much grander. Many of the people who live at the Hotel Chelsea are actually permanent residents, and it's a bit of a bohemian hangout. A lot of artists kind of hang out and come here and live in this building. So Gwen would not be an uncommon sight probably here. She'd probably be very familiar with the Hotel Chelsea. But what does everybody want to do? Do you want to get to the hotel a little early? Do you want to have a drink? What does this look like? How do you all arrive at the Hotel Chelsea?
So Seamus Rook would saunter up about an hour early.
Sure.
He'd take a walk, casual walk around the hotel, checking out where all the exits and entrances were, see about the ground floor windows, how easy they're going to be to open if he needs to. Then he would go into the bar. He doesn't drink. His mentor told him, he said, well, for one, prohibition, but two, he does not drink. His mentor said, when you're on a job, or meeting for somebody for a job, you stay clean and sober. So he'd sit down and he'd order himself a sarsaparilla or something like that, and he would just watch people walking in and out of the bar for a while, seeing if he could spot any likely marks.
Sure. I'm just going to increase the sound here for people at home, the ambiance of the Hotel Chelsea. So we're in January in New York. It has been unusually cold this January. And there has been a blizzard about 2 weeks ago. It lasted 3 or 4 days. It crippled the city of New York. And the snow is piled very high, and it's very cold and very wet. So you case the place out. There's alleys all around it. There's a rickety old fire escape on either side of this building, but nothing really kind of seems out of the ordinary when you stake it out. You enter the Hotel Chelsea. You're greeted by the people at the desk. How can I help you? Are you here for room?
Oh no, I'm meeting a good friend of mine, Mr. Jackson Elias. He said to meet him here. He's up in he tells me room 401.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Elias. Yes, he's in room 401. Shall I ring him?
No, I'm a few minutes early. I don't want to press the man. I'm gonna saunter into your bar and have a drink, and then we'll talk to him at 8.
Very good, very good. Please enjoy yourself. And they kind of show you over to the bar. Veronica, what about you? What's your approach? When do you want to show up? What do you want to do?
Veronica's a busy woman. She likes to be punctual. Not too early, never too late. She arrives in a chauffeured car, of course, and she arrives. She steps out of the fancy car, mind you, and kind of looks around both ways. She's dressed to the nines, very fashionable, if not conservative, black dress, pearls, her go-to Boston bag, and she sultrily saunters over to the entrance of the bar, or of the area. She probably looks a little bit out of place.
Yeah. So you just saunter right in the bar. Yeah, heads turn and they look at you as you enter, and you walk in, and they follow you as you head right into the bar. Those heads. In there, you'll see Seamus. Are you sitting at the bar, Seamus?
Yeah, he'd be sitting at the bar, probably towards one end, so we could have keep an eye on the entrance. Spending more time watching the entrance to the bar than actually drinking his drink.
So you see this literal femme fatale enter the room. The two of you have never met. You don't know each other. You don't even know that you're both here to meet Jackson Elias. But she makes her way into the room and heads turn. Veronica, what do you do? You head to the bar, or what do you take a table?
Yeah, I take a table. Actually, I make my way to the bar.
Sure.
I kind of gesture for service and say, I'm going to be sitting over there. If you don't mind, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure, the guy behind the bar, he gets a glass and he readies it for you. Right away, ma'am. Right away. I'll bring it right over.
Not too much.
Hustles. He makes your drink a lot faster than he made Seamus' sarsaparilla. Speaking about being out of place, Louis, when do you saunter in?
So Louis already there. He's been there since 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and he's So when Seamus gets there, and he sits at the bar. There's a drunk at the bar, and he's asleep. His arms stretched out. He's clinging to a glass that's empty. Maybe little tiny bits are dripping on the floor. And whenever the bartender comes around to get it, all of a sudden I just rouse him. Tiny bits are dripping on the floor. And then once the bartender goes away, I suddenly wake up, and I reach across the bar, grab a thing of liquor, pour it, whatever I got, gin, something like that, into my glass, and put it back, and go back to my ruse of just being an asleep drunk at the bar. And that's the entirety of about 6 hours of Louis' afternoon.
Very good. Very good. So you've just been there drinking gin.
He does. Oh yeah.
All afternoon.
It's way better than the bathtub gin that the baker's wife makes. Oh god, it's terrible.
I guess because people on the stream, can you hear the background kind of like ambience? There's like an old-timey radio playing, it's footsteps and things like that. Just let me know in the chat when you get that. All right. So you're in the bar, the three of you. You're all perfect. Thanks, Melissa. You're all separate, but 8 o'clock rolls. Well, let's say it's 5 to 8. What do you all do?
Seamus would get up, drop a couple of coins on the bar, and head back over and to the concierge. And be like, I think it's about time that you ring Jackson's room for me, if that's okay. I have to go up and see my pal.
He nods. No, not a problem, sir. It was room 401, correct?
Yeah, 401. That's right.
Yeah, hold on. He goes over to kind of the switchboard, starts moving the switches around, and you see him there. He's got the phone to his ear, and it's ringing, it's ringing, it's ringing. And it keeps ringing and ringing. I'm sorry, sir. Are you sure 8 o'clock? I'm not getting any answer from Mr. Elias's room.
Yeah. Jackson said 8 o'clock on the nose, and he's a punctual man, so maybe I'll just head on up there and see if I can rouse him. He might be taking a nap.
Yes, yeah, be my guest, sir.
So Seamus heads to the stairs. He doesn't like to take elevators when he can avoid it.
Yeah, and there's a big, giant, grand, magnificent staircase in this building, because it was an old apartment building that's been repurposed. It's 12 stories high, this hotel, and yeah, you're able to take this huge staircase up 4 flights. Pretty uneventful. Most people are taking these newfangled elevators.
Seamus likes to have options.
Right?
Always likes to have options.
So, was the mention of Elias loud enough for somebody sitting at a table by herself?
I'm gonna say he wandered out of the bar into the main lobby. So, Seamus, did you announce it, or you just kind of in passing went over them and spoke normal tones?
Yeah. I mean, he would have just been talking normally to the concierge.
Okay. So I'm gonna say nobody else heard him mention Jackson Elias's name.
So, if we all knew the time, I think what Louis would do is, seeing Seamus get up and leave coins, will take the opportunity to try to swipe a bottle of gin from behind the bar.
Really?
Slide the coins from where Seamus was sitting over to where Louis is, and then make for the elevator.
You're gonna try and just swipe
Louis.
a bottle, or are you gonna try and buy a bottle?
No, I'm just gonna swipe it. I mean, if they're serving boozy, I probably know where they get.
Sleight of hand.
All right, sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand roll. We'll go for this one.
Okay. All right. I see your game, Matthew.
Regular difficulty. Regular difficulty.
That's 38.
Would you like to use some luck?
No, not for this.
What?
No.
It
Nice
will
try,
only
buddy.
take you, 30 luck? What? No,
2/3 of my luck.
28 luck. 28 luck to pass this. Okay.
I
So
think we just lost Pat.
you look up. You're gonna burp a little, and you eyeball a bottle of gin just on the other side of the bar, and you start reaching for it. As you do so, you don't even see or notice another hand just slap yours out of the way and go, "I don't think so, pal. You've had enough."
It's just, believe me, I function better when this stuff's in me than when it's
You've
not.
got more than enough in you, pal. I think it's time to go.
I ain't your pal, buddy.
I ain't your buddy, guy.
Okay, friend. All right, I see. Okay, that's how you want to play it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just, next time you need a shipment, then you go and you just wait. You'll see, and then he'll just leave. And I will go for the elevator because he's probably struggling to get upstairs.
Sure. So you're kind of like stumbling. Veronica, you witnessed this. This very drunk man get up, kind of have an altercation at the bar, and stumble out of the room. What do you want to do?
Is she frozen again?
Oh no, we lost Pat.
Yeah. I think she.
Oh,
Yeah, we can. Oh, there we can hear her.
we can hear you. Pat, can you hear us? Okay. We will continue on. Despite technical difficulties, hopefully Pat can join us again shortly. So you stumble...
sorry.
Oh, you're back! Okay. We can hear you.
I'm gonna rejoin from my computer. I'm gonna rejoin from my phone. This
Okay.
internet is shit tonight.
Um,
But suffice to say, while I have connection,
Yeah.
she does notice that and warily.
no! No! Veronica!
I think she was going to say it warily appreciates the deftness with which Louis handled that situation. I think
That's probably what she was going to say. Yeah.
Louis, you wander the elevator, and
Yeah.
the staff are looking at you, and they're kind of giving you the stink eye. And you get there, and the elevator. What is it? Is it bellboy? No, elevator operator. What are they called?
The elevator.
Bellhop.
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 Bellhop's there with his little uniform and his hat, and he's kind of like, "What floor, sir?"
4. Can you tell me the 4?
Oh, and he's kind of he smells the gin coming off of you.
Double time it, and there's a dime in it for you.
Oh
Come on,
wow,
let's
a
go.
whole dime! Holy moly, Mister!
Yeah, I mean not for me. Somebody.
All right, Veronica's back. Veronica, what do you do?
All right, so where are we at? Are we still getting
You're
on
in the bar.
elevator?
You're in the bar. You saw Louis saunter out. It's your move now. It's just about 8 o'clock. It's like a minute
All right,
before 8.
well, she is so I do think she noticed the gentleman leaving, who was kind of looking around, who looked like he might have been some sort of
Alcohol.
bit of yes alcoholic of the mob, and she kind of I think she figures that 2 people leaving at once around 8 is not a coincidence, and she's going to join the alcoholic. Unfortunately, she would have rather joined the
Yeah.
better dressed and better
Sure.
kempt,
Seamus
but,
disappeared 5 minutes earlier.
strange fellows.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to the elevator, and the door's just about to close. And as it's closing, you hear Louis say, "4th floor. There's a dime in it for you." And the bellhop sees you and goes, "Oh, pardon me, there's a... Ma'am." Well, and he slides it open. "What floor?"
Much appreciated. Same as this gentleman.
"Oh, gee whiz, do you know each other?"
Louis will look around to see if there's somebody else in the elevator when she says gentleman.
There.
Oh yeah. It's me.
Never met him in my life. He just happens to be going to the same floor as mine.
And he
A lot of
reeks
rooms
of
up
gin.
there. It's camouflage. That's what it is.
Alright. So, the elevator, door closes, and the floors go by. You go up the 4 floors, and as you get to the top, Seamus has already entered from the stairwell and is making his way down the hall towards room 401 as the elevator ding hits the floor, and the kid opens the door and he holds his hand out to you, Louis.
Just shake it. Well done. I'll rummage and I'll
what
see if
about
I have
that
anything
dime?
in me, and I will give him whatever if I have something.
You've got a dime.
I'm sure I've got a dime, so I'll give him a dime. There you go. It's good time. Good work. It was really a smooth ride, kid.
He straightens his little bellhop jacket, and he looks to you, Veronica, and puts his hand out.
Is this I would know if this was a customary thing.
He's looking for a tip.
Do people normally tip elevator bellhops? Okay, cool. Yeah. God, I'm sorry. I'm so.
That's
out of
okay. Well, Louis gave him one, so he's hoping to get one from you too.
All right. Veronica. Oh, Veronica gives him a little kiss on the cheek,
Oh, he blushes.
and she steps out.
All right. You
I'm gonna
hear,
give the kid a dirty look, by the way.
here we
Okay,
go.
I see a game.
Gee
This is my
whiz.
backup character. He's my backup character when Louis does it.
the
The
bellhop?
sidekick.
The bellhop. Yeah, he's smart. He's playing all the angles, this kid.
All right, so the three of you are in the hallway. You see Seamus. You don't know him. You see him. He's walking in the direction of the door that you're all going towards, room 401 in the Hotel Chelsea. And I'm going to say you all, Veronica and Louis, you both start kind of walking in the same direction. Maybe you kind of look at each other like, are you following me, you weird? Both you think you weirdo in your head at the same time to one another, and you walk in the same direction. And the three of you can all converge at the door for room 401.
Three strangers meet in a hallway.
So, what's a boozy buttons and a Sheba doing here?
Sorry, what?
You know, a ritzy dame and a drunk cop.
I ain't a cop. I knock on the door.
Yeah. You know.
I'm here for the same reason you are. We have a mutual associate in need of assistance.
You know Jackson too. He's a good egg.
A very fine researcher.
I don't know about that. We did a spot of work together in England a little while ago. He's
I've done
okay.
quite with him. He's a great man. Good friend of my husband. My
Louis,
late husband.
you knock while they're talking. Go ahead and make me a listen roll while the two of them are kind of getting well acquainted and you're just knocking on the door, ignoring them.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Are we doing
you knock.
rerolls?
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, Melissa watched your reroll, didn't she?
I'll use it. Yeah. I want to hear what's in there.
You could spend your
Seeds.
luck. We didn't roll luck at the beginning of this.
I will burn my luck because it's only one this time.
Okay.
So I will spend
Luck
my luck.
spin. So they're talking, and they're behind you, and you're kind of annoyed, like, keep it down. And you knock, and inside, you hear, oh, and you can hear, like, multiple footsteps inside the room. Like, hurried footsteps. And things
I
being
will.
kind of, like, shuffled and moved.
I will yell out, Jackson, and then I will put a shoulder into the door, see if I can, like, hey, Jackson! And I'll try to ram my shoulder into the door.
Okay, go ahead and make me a strength roll.
Oh, God. I'm in my early 50s, man.
You can also do locksmith if you
Oh,
want. Oh, look at you! You
oh.
lean into it.
It's,
And the door
it's the
swings
booze.
open. As the door swings open, you see your friend Jackson Elias laying on the ground, his guts, his stomach cut open, his intestines spilled out in the floor in a pool of blood. You see blood pouring out from his forehead, and the window leading to the fire escape wide open, and the backside of two men fleeing out the fire escape. Before you can do anything, though, you turn to your side and you see there's a third man who's bringing down a knife on you.
On me?
On you!
Like
You're the
gently,
one who burst.
right? Like the hand to me. He's not trying to stab
You're
me.
the
He's
one
just
who,
bringing
who
it down
burst
from
into
like
the
a
room here.
like a shelf that was too high for me.
But he misses with a 95. So he swings. You burst in the room with such force, and he swings as you go by. And he's standing there. He's wearing this strange headdress on his head. It's kind of like there's like an open mouth with this almost like this red tongue made out of felt hanging down. And he's wearing a suit, but he has this crazed look on his face, and he's carrying a large curved dagger. And he says, "I'll kill you!" in a thick accent, and lunges at you.
Stranger things have tried, and they failed. So,
Um,
can we hit back now?
Yeah, Seamus and Veronica, you see this. You see the two men leaving out the window, Jackson Elias lying dead on the floor.
As soon as I even saw this drunkard pushing on the door, my hand was on my my lovely Gliznetti Model 1910 pistol, and pulled right out of my purse. Shit's going down. I need to be armed.
It's a glutenetti.
Yeah, it is.
It's a glutenetti. 2 shreds. All right, so yeah, you're the only one with a pistol drawn. Seamus, would you have a pistol handy?
Now, Seamus would reach into his pocket and pull out his blackjack, and he glances over and he says, "What dame packing a bean shooter? I'm staying out of your way, doll." And then he'll try to smack that blackjack into the guy with the knife.
Best down, Micah.
Very good. So we're not gonna get heavy deep into the weeds here. Hey, Chuck, with combat and how it works, but basically you go in order of highest dex, and if you're packing a readied firearm, you take your dex and add 50 to that, your dex score. So I'm gonna say in this instance, Veronica, you're gonna act first. You pull your piece out of your purse, so I'll let you fire. Louis and Seamus, what are your dex scores? Just so I'm aware.
90.
Woo.
80.
Woo.
Is there an easy combat button that we can press?
You can
Or do
do
we have-
firearm
On the combat screen. If you do the combat screen, if you have that set up, you can roll it from there. In the combat tab.
Firearms though. So, but I don't see that I can click that. Anyway, whatever. I can do the math. Ranged attack is dex plus firearms, right?
let me just take a quick look at your character sheet. You can just roll
Yeah.
Did you get your character sheet set up? Oh, 9, that's a hit.
Oh,
That's a success. You want to roll
yeah.
low.
Oh yeah, and my firearms, to be clear, is a skill level 70.
Okay,
And
so you want to roll 70 or under. So you have like a great success, essentially, with this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
you fire.
D10.
D10 for damage?
Yes.
Roll me your damage, please.
Who are you shooting at? The guys getting out the window, or?
Well, I think they're far gone.
They are gone. They are leaving. Like,
Yeah,
you
they're-
saw their backsides as the door got burst open. They've fled out the fire escape. So you're gonna have to chase after them if you want to catch up to them.
But there's no way in hell my character didn't hear "I'll kill you" in a nondescript accent.
Yes. Oh, and you see this guy. He kind of like fell into the doorway when he tried to
Yeah.
like bash Louis as he barreled in.
Yeah.
5 damage. All right, so you clip this guy, you hit him, and he's bleeding, and he turns to you, and he's got a mad look in his eyes, and he looks straight at you with this curved dagger in his hand. I'll kill you next.
Good luck.
Okay. Over to you, Seamus.
Fella, I'm gonna bust you right in your choppers. Brings the blackjack down.
Okay, go ahead and roll me your... Oh, yeah, I set up blackjack. That's a success. Roll your damage. Bring the blackjack down on his head.
5.
5 more points of damage. With that, he crumples. You subdue him. He falls to the ground. He's bleeding from the gunshot wound, but you knock him out with that. And you also, you're in the room now as well, and you see Jackson Elias. He's on the floor, intestines spilled out. Window open, cold, January air blowing in. What do you do?
Run out the window.
Yeah, you can get on the fire escape.
Yeah, Louis will just. I mean, he'll have his gun out too. He does draw that pretty quick. I think it's one of his talents or whatever. But he'll run out the window and look up or down, see if there's a particular way they went, and give chase.
All right, let's switch up our sounds here because we've got pursuit.
And if you want me to roll a spot hidden to find them, Matt, you just let me know.
Oh, okay, I will do that. All right, pursuit. Listen to that. Oh, on the grates. Let me turn that down a little bit. This one's loud. All right, so it is January. Heavy snowfall. It's icy, and this is a narrow, rickety fire escape. You see 2 men. They look up at you. They're about 2 floors down, and they point. And they're also carrying those daggers, and they just start sliding down the rails and trying to escape as fast as they can away from you. It looks like down in the alley there might be an automobile waiting for them down below. So you're clambering and making your way down here. The whole thing is shaking as you do so with the weight between you and them. What is your size? The number that you have for size, could you tell me that?
60.
Okay.
60. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah, Louis is not too big.
Okay, so as you enter as you get on to the fire escape, and you kind of start like barreling down, and they see you, and they start running faster, the whole thing starts shaking violently, and you look over, and you can see the bolts kind of like coming out of the brick under the weight of all of you. I'm gonna need you to make me a roll, as this thing's gonna start to like kind of give and fall from the side of the building. Go ahead and make me a jump roll. As you're kind of clambering and you're going to try and break your fall on something down below. Oh! Do you want to spend some luck?
Big old fail. I don't have enough luck to spend for that one. I need
So-
I have 20 in jump.
This whole fire escape just kind of gives way. It lurches. You can hear the old wrought iron as it pulls away. The men below you, they're shouting, but they're shouting in a language you don't understand. It's a panicked shout. As they also fall. You're going to go ahead and take some damage here. Hopefully it doesn't kill you. This whole thing falls and gives, and you're going to take 9 damage as you slam into the icy pavement down below. You try to brace yourself in this fire escape as best as you can as it's coming down, but you take quite a hit as you thud into the ground.
So as I land on the pavement, very familiar place for Louis to find his face.
Yes.
He will nonetheless keep his eyes peeled and see if he can get a good look at the vehicle, a plate, anything like that.
Yes. Do you want to spot hidden for me? You would love to.
That's all I have, Matt.
I know.
That's all I have.
Yeah, but you're really, really, really good at it.
I really am. And I get 1 bonus die. 31, so that's a success.
Okay. Yes, you see they get away in an old black Hudson, and you make out the license NYL7 as the men like limp into the back of this vehicle, and it breaks off into the street, disappearing into the night.
An old white Hudson NYL7. Sorry, Pat.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give it a go, but there's really no point. I don't think it'll matter.
What did you want to do?
Oh, I just want to do a pop shot out the window.
Oh, you want to shoot at them?
Yeah, from the window.
Yeah.
Okay, that hits. Probably the car.
I'm gonna make it difficult. It's gonna be a higher difficulty though.
Okay.
So what is your skill? It's 7. It's gonna be a hard
7.
roll. So it's you need twice as much. Where's your character sheet here? I'm just gonna bring
Actually, this time for once. For once, I actually prepared before the session, and I actually got here kind of on time too. For once.
There we go. Firearms will lock it. So when you click firearms for me, it'll bring up a roll table, and it says roll difficulty regular. Click on the drop down and switch it to hard.
All right. Oh man, I can do that now.
My audio's gone all funky. I'll be 1 moment.
So, it looks like the skill challenge put it at 60. I did already roll, but let's say that this new one is a failure.
Back.
It doesn't. I don't think it matters.
All right, so you're gonna fire down at the vehicle. Yeah, you hit the car. Go ahead and roll me your damage. Louis, you hear a gunshot from up above. You look out the window and you see that dame who got out of the elevator with you is in the window firing down at the street.
Holy shit! 10 damage.
10 damage. You
a little bit of
nick the car.
internal nod at that, like okay.
You punch a hole in this car, so it's now you know what kind of car it is. You know its license plate, and it's got a big bullet hole in it. But you can now hear panics screaming from the street and the floor you're on. Like, oh my god, was that a gunshot? Holy, what's going on? Call the police!
Seamus is shaking his head, puts his hat down a little bit further on his head, turns, walks over to the door, puts the do not disturb sign out, shuts the door, locks it.
The door has been smashed by Louis. He put his shoulder
pushes the dresser up against the door.
I was gonna say Yeah, people are starting to filter out in the hallway, like, oh my god, is that a gunshot? What was that? What was that? And yeah, you're kind of you push the dresser in front of the door. Okay. Somebody call the police. Oh my god.
Squats down. Seamus squats down next to Jackson. He's like, "Hey, buddy. Nobody's putting me in bracelets over this one, and I gotta tell you, you're not looking like you're long for the world here. I think you're gonna be finding yourself in a Chicago overcoat before the end of the night. So why don't you got anything to tell me about what's going on here?"
You get no answer. His eyes are just staring straight up at the ceiling. You kind of like hold your hand in front of his mouth to see if there's no breath, there's no nothing. You feel for a pulse. He is dead. You do notice, though, I said there was blood on his forehead. You see that there is something carved into his forehead. It's not just a random cut. Whoever these men were, they carved this symbol, these two curved circles, and almost like a sun-like symbol in the middle of it, in the middle of his forehead. And poor Jackson Elias is...
So Seamus would
dead.
Reach into his pockets, put on his gloves, and
Corpse handling gloves.
Start searching Jackson's suit. He's like, "Yo, crazy dame, what you shooting out the window? We got it. We got about a nickel before the buttons are here to take us to the cooler. So I expect we ought to get a move on."
Oh my god, he's really dead. Fucking. Damn it! I don't mean to curse mixed company, but it really meant a lot to me and to my longevity in my position. God damn it.
Well, somebody clear popped him, so if we're gonna find out what's going on, we need to skedaddle.
Fine. I want these killers caught just as much as the rest of you. Fucking... Who would have killed a man who... A death cult. It's gotta be a death cult. Great.
I don't know, but that's what I'm trying to find out. So, the crazy, the Bruno, the goon, he took a dive out the window. We gotta search this room fast and get the heck out of here.
Ditto. And I'm already on it. Gun has been stowed.
So,
homegirl's consummate professional too.
For sure. This room has already been ransacked. The bed's tossed, the dresser, like all of the drawers that were pulled out of the dresser, the one that you push in front of the door, like this place has been like gone over with a fine-tooth comb. You can see Jackson's pockets they're hanging inside out of his pants. You kind of feel through his suit jacket pocket, and you don't really see anything. But that's when you notice that the gentleman wearing the strange headdress that tried to hit Louis is clutching some things in one of his hands. And you see things poking out of his suit jacket pocket. He's wearing a really scuzzy suit, kind of like that what Louis has on.
Let's do a quick search of him, then.
Sure.
Yeah,
as I search for that, Louis, what are you doing? You're laying down in the streets. This car sped away. Gunshot went off. You know the police will be showing up soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I know they're going to be showing up soon. So there's two things. Then I want to just see if they dropped anything when this thing fell out, because I took a bad tumble. They were on it too,
yes.
Right? And like when we all hopped down fell down. Just to see if anything in the snow pops out, and then I want to try to like bribe the doorman to send them to a different room to give us more time.
Okay. I don't know why I asked, but make me a spot hidden. You've already maxed that out. It's all you got. I have to, right?
It's all I have in life. Yeah.
All right, so
Good.
they did drop some things when they fell out. They dropped some things out of their pockets when they fell out. And I will share them with you right now. No, not money. Clues. Yeah, dang, I don't want these damn clues. So, you get... I'll share them with you, and I'll read them to the stream, because they won't see these things, and I'll go over them. So, you find a letter. It's from Cairo, March 3rd, 1919. Remember, this is, what, 1920... 25? So this is 1919. It says, "Dear Mr.
It's 5 years later in Peru, I think, right?
Yeah,
yes.
25.
Dear Mr. Carlisle, Your lawyer informed me that you seek certain knowledge of this land and its distant past, and I believe I can aid you in this regard. Inquiries in the Old Quarter have identified one Ferez Najar in the Street of Jackals, who claims to be in possession of the Singular Curious, which he believes will be of great interest to you. So this is in cursive, so this is super hard to read. He is prepared to part with these items if a suitable price can be agreed upon, and I shall endeavor to make sure that matters are arranged to your satisfaction. Yours, M. Warren Bassart. So this is obviously has ties to the Carlisle Expedition, and these men thought it important and took it from the room. You also find a business card that fell out of the Penhew Foundation at 35 Tottenham Court Road, London. And it's got it's the business card for Edward Gavigan, the director of the Penhew Foundation. Now, Mr. Penhew was one of the gentlemen who went on the Carlisle Expedition. So he's actually a name who was in the papers and was part of the expedition himself. So something else tying it to the Carlisle. And you find one last thing. You find a matchbook. And it's from the Stumbling Tiger, 10 Lantern Street. And it says Shanghai Fun and Friends on it. And that's all.
Okay. Stumbling Tiger. That's a good name for a bar.
The Stumbling Tiger. You can only assume is in Shanghai. 10 Lantern Street. All right, so the others find things in the room. You find, on the gentleman that was left behind, you find a blurry photograph. I'll show you on the screen there. Number 4. We got a lot of clues here, people. A blurry and grainy photo. It shows a large steam or diesel-powered yacht beyond some Chinese boats, also known as junks. Part of the name of a yacht is visible. You see the first 3 letters are D-A-R. In the dim background is a building with a large tower. So you've got a photo. You don't know where this is, but those boats are definitely Chinese in appearance. You also find on him... This is where you get all your clues now, and you get to go figure things out. A business card for Emerson Imports here in New York, New York. 648 West 47th Street. Telephone number. On the back of the business card, written in pen, is the name Silas Naquan. And that is here in New York.
Interesting.
You also find...
It's like Christmas.
I know, right?
In January.
All the clues. These clues are all should be available to all you also. They're in the game. They're in here, so you can always fall back on them. I'll start journals for all you, too, because people had journals going when we were doing this previously, because we got a lot of things going on here. You also find a letter from Harvard University dated November 7th, 1924, and it's sent to Mr. Jackson Elias, care of Prospero House Publishers, Lexington Avenue, New York City. It says, Dear Mr. Elias, the book about which you inquired is no longer in our collection. The information you seek may be found here in other volumes. If you will contact me upon arrival, I'll be most happy to further assist you. As always, Miriam Atwright, Harvard University Library. So Jackson was trying to get access to a book at Harvard University. And one last thing here. You find a playbill, a handbill. Tonight only, it reads, The Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and Southwest Pacific. A 2-hour lecture with slides delivered by Professor Anthony Cowles, PhD, of the University of Sydney, Australia, and presently Loxley Fellow of Polynesian Esoterica at Miskatonic University in Arkham. Schuler Hall, New York University, 8 p.m. Tonight only.
Well, suppose I'll have to cancel my plans for the evening.
So that is what you find. You can assume that tonight only has already passed. There's no date, unfortunately, on this handbill.
Yeah. University of Sydney. So
Presently operating out of
Interesting. Schuler Hall, New York University. We might be able to talk to people who attended. Very interesting. All right. So my first line of thought is I'm a student of the world. My my late husband took me to a number of exotic places. Might I have even the slightest chance of recognizing the features behind that yacht?
Good question. You want to know if you can pinpoint that? That's going to be a tough one.
I mean, it's going to take like a miracle because my history is at 20.
Yeah, it's
So
I'm just looking at the different skills to see what I don't even know if it'd be history. It's like a geography sort of thing,
Yeah.
which isn't even a skill in this.
I mean, if it's an archaeology, that would go up. That would be good for me.
You can have science geography as a
Tell you what-
skill, but
True.
Natural world is a skill. So roll me natural world, and it's gonna be harder than hard. Let me bear with me here. It's going
It's-
to
all right,
it's
gonna
gonna
roll
be
1d.
extreme difficulty.
Homie, if I get a 1 on this, otherwise it's fucked. Okay,
No,
it's fucked.
so you look at it and you're like, I'm worldly. I've been around. I've traveled. My husband traveled. But no, you
Not-
figure it is somewhere probably in China, based off the architecture
Yeah.
and the style of boats. But you don't know where. China's a large place.
Understatement of the year.
Yeah, right? The Republic of China.
Ooh, I can pinpoint it's China and the coast. Ooh. Maybe Shanghai, considering the other clues pinpoints to Shanghai. I won't say that definitively, but my idea is that maybe this is a picture from Shanghai. Somebody went to Shanghai. We should go to Shanghai.
Yeah, and Louis got the matchbook down there from Shanghai.
Seamus looks over at Veronica and he's like, "Listen, doll, I don't want to get pinched for this, and I'm not a ritzy person like you, so I'm thinking perhaps I take a powder and you hang around for the cops. Just tell them you came up to see Jackson and found him dead. Because that bellboy knew we were all coming up here."
Why don't you take this mask too? Don't want the cops getting hold of that. Could be informative.
I'll take all of this stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and slide on out of here, and I'll meet you downstairs. I'm gonna go find that Bruno who took a dive out the window.
Yes. Be a doll and make sure to inform me of where we might meet again if downstairs is occupied by.
Well, why don't you tell me where you want to meet? New York's not my city. I just came in from Chicago.
Very well. I do have an apartment in Manhattan. Perhaps we could meet at mine, and I give you my address.
Well, that's all right. I like the sound of that. My name is Mr. Rook, but my friends call me Seamus.
I am Veronica West. You've probably heard of me in the New Yorker. They made a rather gauche comic about me several months ago.
I'm gonna be honest with you, ma'am. I don't read much of the papers except for the betting pages, but I'll be sure to look it up. And he slides the dresser away and
Yeah.
saunters out of the door.
You
as
do so,
casual as
and there's
humanly
people
possible.
milling about in the hallway as you do so.
He looks at me and goes, "What was all that noise? You guys, I thought this was a classy joint here."
Are you trying to like get their attention away, or?
Yeah, he's just kind of, joining the crowd. Just
Okay.
kind of like,
Yeah, they're milling about, and people are scared. They're kind of worried. Like, they've called the police.
he goes, "Was that a car backing up or something?"
Oh my God, is that a dead body?
No, wait. I'm gonna be
No. I slid out.
Rewind.
I slid out and shut that door real quick.
Oh my God, there's blood everywhere.
Oh no.
All right, so you're kind of blended. Let's go back to Louis. So Louis, you're down there. You've got these things. You shove them in your pocket, and you're gonna go around the front. You can already start to hear sirens in the distance. It's gonna take them a while to get here. Again, the traffic And the weather is terrible right now.
Mhm.
It's incredibly cold out. Way more snow than
Okay.
you've seen in recent years. You're shivering. You're walking around, and you make your way to the front of the hotel.
I have a booze coat on. Matt, would you say I would have I wouldn't have a car. 1925. Would I have a car?
I don't think you'd have a car. I think you'd maybe
I don't
use
think I'd have a car.
streetcars, cable cars to get around. Was the subway running by that point in New York? This was the fun
In
thing we did miss.
Some places, yeah.
Some
Some
Messed up
places.
last time. People would
Yeah.
look up historical stuff for us. So maybe the subway.
Right.
You take public.
Doesn't connect to
transportation.
where I live. I have to take the
Taxis.
ferry.
Okay.
But I think what I'll do, I'll get a cab, and if I can, and I will have the cab just wait outside the hotel, and I'll be in it with I'll be looking out the window. I'm looking for the other two potentially coming out. It's kind
So
of
you're just going right to a cab. You're not going to the doorman anymore. You're just like.
Well, if you're saying that, I would like to kind
sirens
of
in a distance.
Okay, in the
You'd have
distance.
time to approach him and talk to him before they roll up on you.
Okay, so I would like to talk to So then what I would do with the doorman is I would try to get the meanest mugged face on as I could, and I'm probably bleeding at this point. I'm almost always bleeding anyway, but like right now I'm probably bleeding more freshly than normal. This is just my guy, and I will say I'll say to him like, when they get here, you send them to how many floors you got in this building? And he's like looking
12.
up, trying to count. You send them up to 12. You got that?
He's
And then
looking at you. Yeah, you're kind of bloodied.
Get up nice in his face.
Disheveled.
You got that?
What, sir? What? Why?
Don't call me sir. When they come here, because they're coming here, did you not see? There's a fire escape on the ground. That's not where they're supposed to go. They're supposed to be on the side of the freaking wall there. When they get here, just send them to 12. You got it? If you don't send them to 12,
I'll tell you what. He holds out his hand.
I'm going to go ahead and take you to 12, and I'm going to throw you off 12. How you like
Oh,
that?
he's-
Ain't
I
got
was
no
gonna say,
fire
he-
escape.
He holds out his hand. You can make me a credit rating roll. He's like,
Okay, I'll credit rating roll.
You can do that, or you can intimidate. You can intimidate.
I'll
He's-
credit rate.
He's
No,
giving
no,
you.
no.
He's going the
I'll
non-violent way. He's just like, sir, yes.
Credit rating rolls are like I will pass them. Period.
Louis
So
will
you start-
not.
You start going through your pockets. You're just like,
Can I give him? A bottle of booze that I like? Should I just give? I have booze in all of my pockets of
in all of
various
your
flavors.
in all of your pores.
It's pretty much all I have. Can I just wring out my hand and?
He goes.
Okay.
He goes. No. The police will conduct their investigation here as they see fit. Please move along.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna look down at his name tag. All right, Jerry. I will. I'll move on. Jerry at Hotel Chelsea. Okay, buddy. That's how you want to play it. Flag me down a damn taxi now, will you? That's your job, isn't it?
He kind of like covers over his name tag, kind of like moves.
Too late now. I saw it already,
And
Jerry.
he's just like looking at you like over his shoulder, and he throws his hand out like calling a cab. And like always kind of like looking over at you, but hiding his name tag as so.
My
You're-
eagle eyes will be staring at him the whole time.
Says you're a terrible man. As a cab pulls up, and
Yeah,
he
my
opens
wife
the
tells me
door
that
for
all
you.
the time. And I will. I'll have the I'll tell the taxi driver just to kind of do a little U-ey and like pull onto the other opposite side of the road, and I just want to look out the window to see who's coming.
Oh,
out of
okay,
the
go
hotel.
around and you're gonna watch from across the street. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you watch from the other side of the street. I'm gonna say a squad car is gonna pull up shortly here. Seamus, you wanted to make your way out of the floor before the squad car pulled up.
Oh yeah. He starts walking, walks up to the 8th floor, and then waits for the elevator to come down, and then takes the elevator down from 8.
Ah, okay. Sure, you do so, and you get in the elevator. The bellboy's there. He's like, did you hear what's going on? Did you hear all the commotion? What's happening, mister? I heard there was a gunshot. People are saying there's dead bodies all over the place.
I don't know. I was up on 8. I didn't hear anything.
Oh. I heard it was on multiple floors.
Well, I was visiting with a friend, and we got a little louder than we thought we were gonna. How that is sometimes with the dolls.
Sure, that's none of my business. What floor? Where can I take you?
I'm going back downstairs. There's too much going on here tonight. I think I'm gonna be taking myself out for dinner.
Sure. He slides the door shut, and the floors start going by as you go down. And you get to the lobby, and it's like chaos. There's people in the lobby everywhere. People are panicking. They're trying to keep everybody calm as the elevator stops in the lobby.
Gee whiz, is your joint always jumping like this? I thought Chicago was bad.
Only when there's murders, mister.
You gotta keep those murders down. This is supposed to be a class joint. I thought
You're telling me.
Well, all right then. He gives him $1. He goes,
I'm done. Whoa!
Thanks for the ride, son. I got the...
He kind of like does a double take and looks at you and looks at it, and he folds it up and puts it in his breast pocket. Thanks, mister.
That's how the boys from the Windy City treat our friends.
So you enter into the lobby, and it's crowded. People are panicked. They're screaming. People are trying to leave, and they're trying to keep people in. The police are arriving. Please, you must stay calm. The police are arriving. Everyone must stay here until they've arrived.
So he will turn around and slowly walk back towards the kitchens.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
He'll pick up. He'll do a sleight of hand as he's going through the kitchen, as he's going through the dining room to pick up somebody's check, and head back and gets a really pissed off look on his face and's heading back to the kitchen. I want to talk to the goddamn chef about this meal.
All right, do you want to make me a sleight of hand roll?
Yeah.
All right. You just like get off the elevator. You don't break your stride. Just go over there. You grab it. Grab this thing. Nobody notices. You just kind of swoop it up. All the confidence in the world is on your face as you walk back there and you throw the door open to the kitchen. The guys in the kitchen are all kind of like sitting back. They're smoking cigarettes. They're playing games. Like they're on a break. Nobody's ordering anything because of all the commotion.
Where's the chef?
Hey, whoa! You can't be back here. You can't be back here. What are you doing back here,
Hey,
mister?
I got my bill here. It's not even right. It's not the food that I got. I want to see the head chef.
Take that up with the waiter, mister.
Hey, no, there's nobody out there. The police are going crazy. I don't got time for this. Here, I got it. I got you. I'm going to go back to the back here. I'm going to sit down. You go find my waiter, and I'll take care of the bill.
Who was your waiter?
Just right here on the bill. Here, he hands over the bill. He's like, go sort this out. I'll be waiting in the back. And then when they turn around, he walks out the back door.
Why don't you make me a fast talk roll, please?
This is not going to go well.
Okay. Do you have luck to spend to make that a success?
I'm not going to spend that much luck to make it a success.
How much is it? It's 51. Holy crap.
51. I have the luck, but I'm not going to spend it.
There's 3 of them in total. You're talking one of them. The other 2 stand up. They're wearing like white chef's robes and stuff like that, but they're not the head chef. They're like, listen, mister, you can't be back here. And they all get up and they'll kind of start like shoving you back towards the door. You can't be back here.
I just reach in, put my hand on my pistol, and I go, listen, friends, I'm from Chicago. And people from Chicago, we don't get messed with. You don't put your hands on a man from Chicago. I don't care if this is New York. If this is how you want to do your business tonight, some of you may find yourself in a Chicago overcoat before the end of the evening. So why don't you take a step back and go get my waiter?
Are you trying to intimidate them?
I guess so.
Which is equally as bad.
It's not going to go well either, because he's a thief. He's not a confidence man.
That's my department.
Exactly. Oh, closer.
I will spend the luck points for that, though.
Okay,
so I get that down to a 50.
So the way it works also is when you spend luck to pass a roll, it does not count as a success at the end of the session when we're doing upgrades and things like that. So just keep that in mind. So you passed. So you kind of, I'm gonna say you flash. You reach in, you grab your piece, and you kind of flash at them and like, whoa, okay, mister, yay, hey, we don't want any more dead bodies around here.
What are you talking about, dead bodies? I just don't want to be manhandled by the staff. Just go get my waiter.
They all back up.
Here.
Like, they back right off, and they're just like, their mouths are open, and nobody's stopping you at this point.
So he just kind of fades towards the back of the kitchen, and then when they are doing their own thing, he'll walk out the back door.
Sure, you go at the back door. There's nothing back. There's just some trash piled up. There's some vagrants kind of loitering around back there. It's freezing. Kind of throw up your
Yep.
collar.
He takes the long walk around the block.
Sure, you're gonna go the way of the crash down.
He goes
fire
out, goes to the opposite
Sure.
side of the building, and then takes the long walk around the block.
Okay, I'm gonna say eventually, Louis, you see the other gentleman that was at the door with you. He comes around and out of the alley opposite of the one of the fire escape that collapsed.
I'll roll the window down in the back seat, like halfway, and I'll just let out like this loud whistle, and that's all I'm gonna do.
Seamus looks, tips his hat, walks over to the car. He's like, "Hey, Bruno, I expected to find you in a puddle on the sidewalk. That was quite a dive."
You know, just described like every day since I was born. But go on, get in. We got things to talk about.
That's all right by me. The Sheba up there, she gave me her address. Said we should meet her over there at her apartment in Manhattan.
Yeah, Manhattan. That tracks. Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
So, Seamus slides into the cab. He's like, "I told her to stay and talk to the fuzz, because I figure of the three of us, she's the only one likely to not get clapped in bracelets. So it may be
that's
a while."
probably true. If she gets in some trouble, I know a person that do. I doubt they're gonna give her any problems. It'll be all right.
Oh, you
But,
work with the boys here in New York?
That's an interesting word. Kinda, sorta, maybe. I don't know. It's not really important. I think what's really important right now is just we get the hell away from here before someone looks a little too hard at this cab that's lingering for too long outside the hotel. So we could just drive. Let's just go. Just get going. And I'll just kick the back of the taxi cab, and I'll just call out a random address.
Sure. All right, so let's go. So with that, a squad car pulls up. 2 uniformed police have gotten out. You can still hear more sirens coming. They go into the hotel. It's not long, Veronica, before there's a bang, 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 bang on the door. New York police, open up!
I got my handy flask of water out, and I'm making my makeup all fucked up and covered in tears.
Yeah.
So, right, and the cabinet's gone. I maybe pushed it aside a little bit. The door's kind of still up in the way, but it's obviously busted off its hinges. And definitely not me who did that, because I'm dainty. I'm just kind of sobbing. I'm just openly sobbing.
Sure. Are you in a chair in the room when they're banging on there and they can hear the sobbing? I'm gonna say, as they bang on the door, it swings open and they see you, and there's 2 uniformed police officers. Like, oh my god, what the hell happened here? One of them goes over the body, or one of them grabs a sheet and throws it over the body, and the other one comes over to you and he kind of comforts you, throws his arm around you. He's like, "Ma'am, what happened here? Are you okay?"
This monster killed my friend, my late husband's best friend. He tried to kill me too. I'm happy that my husband never let me go outside without a sidearm.
Sidearm? What? Hey.
Sorry, not that. Maybe she uses a different term.
Lady.
My husband never let me go outside without something to protect myself with.
Lady, we gotta ask you a few questions. You're gonna have to make a statement. You're gonna have to come down to the precinct.
Oh, of course, anything.
Did you see what happened here?
No.
Who's that man? They point to the cultist on the floor. Who's that man?
That's the man who did it! That's the man who savagely killed my friend and then tried to kill me too!
They look at each other and kind of raises his cap, oh, they're over their heads here. It's let's wait for backup. And they kind of console you, and one of them leaves to go radio down from, he goes to find a police call box and call it in.
In the room when I got there, and he assaulted me.
So the one the uniformed police officer says that he does his best to try and comfort you. and
Mhm.
de-escalate the situation. And he's kind of like, he's not doing anything. He's not touching anything. Like, this is way above them. After about 15 minutes, though, a man in a suit does arrive. He's about a heavy set. He's a heavy set man. Looks like he's middle-aged, probably in his early 40s. And he's got a dark complexion, brown hair. He wears it slicked back. He's got a nice, clean suit. It's very neat, well kept. But it fits him a bit poorly. It looks like maybe he's put on some weight recently. So it's a little tight when he sits down and moves around. When he comes in, he looks at you and he looks at the room. He looks at the police, uniformed police officer. He goes, shit, I wasn't expecting this. Did you get her name? He points to the officer. I haven't done anything. He comes over and he's like, ma'am, I'm going to need your name. You're going to need to make a statement. We're going to take you down to the precinct.
West, Veronica West. This man was somebody that I worked with, a dear friend of my late husband's. He was one of my only friends and my husband's.
Okay, whoa. It's a lot. You hit me with a lot there, lady. I know this is a lot you're taking in. We've got a dead husband. We've got a dead man. What's the connection?
There we go. This man worked with my husband. He was a director of the Museum of Natural History. This man was an anthropologist. He was writing a book. I don't know. He never tells us what he's writing the books about, but he always comes by the museum. But he was a friend of the family, and I was coming over because he asked me to visit him at this place because he was in town. He doesn't come by often. He's always on work. And when I got here, he was on the floor. This scary man with a tattoo or something on his face, and he tried to kill me.
A tattoo on his face? What is
Look
this?
at him! Look at him!
He goes over to the body and he lifts the sheet up for Jack's lines. He goes, holy sh... I knew it. I knew it. You can see on his face that as soon as he looks at the forehead, specifically the symbol, and he goes, God damn it, I knew it! And you can see him get mad. Alright, I'm taking her back to the precinct. I'm going to question her there. Take a look at this room. Lock it down. Make sure Robeson doesn't hear anything about this. Alright, boys? This is between us. I don't want to get into him because you know what will happen. And he takes you and he kind of takes your jacket. He puts it around you.
Thank you, sir. What's your name?
My name? Lieutenant Poole. Martin Poole. Marty Poole.
Thank you, Mr. Poole. Thank you so much.
He gives you his card. He hands it to you. Goes,
Pocket.
let's go back down to my car, and I'll take you to the precinct, and we can discuss there. So he takes you downstairs, and I'm going to say the two of you in the cab, you eventually see this. You see Veronica being led out by a man and put in a car. He's a plainclothes police officer. You're not too sure. He's not wearing a uniform. He's wearing a suit. He's put in a regular car and takes her away. I don't know. Are you going to tail her?
I think Louis would probably know what precinct that.
If you follow it, yeah, the area, the city you're in, you'd know. It's precinct 7A would be the one that we called into this one based off the proximity.
Okay. Yeah. So if that's the case, then I'll just say this is tail. This looks like follow it, but don't make it look like you're following it. All right. If you got to make a left or a right, like I know where to go.
All right. So the drive, Veronica, to the precinct, it's very uneventful. It's quiet. He doesn't say anything to you, but you can tell like something's kind of triggered him when he saw that marking on the forehead. You know something that triggered something with him, and he started throwing names out there and stuff like that. And you picked up on it, and he seems like a man on a mission now to get you there and question you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I roll a psychology to know more? But I feel like that kind of spells out, at the very least, the surface emotions he's feeling. Good. I'm exactly where I need to be.
Yeah.
I think.
You could maybe you can try like persuade or fast talk.
I mean, I kind of want to see where this goes because this guy I could talk to and find out more from him, presumably as he's interrogating me. I think that's my play here.
Okay. Very good.
Not that I'm ill-equipped to do any of the other sort of persuasion things. I want to see how this goes.
Sure. So he gets you the precinct. He gets you in a room. You're not under arrest at all. You're just being asked there for questioning. So nothing like that. You're not being booked or anything. But he gets you in a room and he locks the door and he looks around like he looks anxious. He goes, "We don't have a lot of time here, okay, Miss? What was it, Miss West?"
I'm a very busy woman too, so I understand. But oh my God, this is heartbreaking. Yes, Veronica West. I work at the museum.
And what were you doing here tonight? You were here seeing your friend.
Yes,
and
he's a close confidant of my husband and an old friend of the family. We used to share, back before Prohibition. We had martinis together and by the veranda.
Do you know the victim's name?
Yes. Oh my God, you don't know? That's Elias, and then last name, and
Jackson Elias.
Jackson Elias.
The writer.
Yes, the writer. You've heard of him.
Yeah, he's famous. Of course I've heard.
Yeah.
Of him. What the hell is he doing there? Why is he dead?
I have no idea. I wanted to hire him to work at the museum. I have an amazing position there, and I was hoping to do right by him for all the work that he's done with our family in the past. But when I got there, he was dead.
He was dead when he got there.
He was splayed out on the floor.
Hey, cut the malarkey, lady. What's going on here?
What do you mean, malarkey? When he asked me to come over. He's not in New York every day. This was a once in a blue moon opportunity for me to pitch him the concept of working with me at the museum.
What do you know about that carving on his head? He's not the first one to have that. There's been 9 other victims the last 2 years of that marking.
9 other victims?
4 wealthy, middle class, black, white, all over the city. Same marks on their forehead.
What
do you know about that?
Why don't people know about this? Is this...
It's because the man that they believe is guilty for these crimes is behind bars, thanks to my captain. So, what do you know about that symbol on his head?
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything. But I want to know. I need to be able to help this egregious... I need justice for my friend.
You can make me a charm, fast talk, or persuade roll. It's up to you.
Okay. I'm going to go with persuade because weirdly enough, I have more persuade than charm.
Okay.
When I was making my character, I kind of thought that I don't play Call of Cthulhu very often. I thought that they would find with stats. And, considering my appearance is 90, I kind of just assumed that would factor into it. But I succeed.
You succeed. So he sits back in his chair, creaks, takes a big drink of water, kind of rubs his hand in his face. It's all right. Right.
I wish I knew.
Some eccentric Manhattanite by the name of Dr. Lemon said that there's some African death cult cutting these things in people's heads. My captain, Captain Robeson, over at the 14th Precinct in Harlem, arrested a man there who I believe is innocent. He's currently over in Sing Sing on death row for these crimes, and he obviously did not do it, did he? I can hear myself.
Yeah,
on the screen.
Too.
Cutting somebody's head open tonight at the Hotel Chelsea. So there's something more going on here, Miss West. There's something more going on here. I got a dirty captain. I got an innocent man behind bars. I've got another victim with the same MO, and I got some crazy doctor saying it's an African death cult.
Okay, so let's get a little bit more into all this. I would like, do the appropriate. I don't know if you really want me to RP the entire conversation. I would want to get into the nitty gritty of. All right, well, be more specific than African death cult. I've done some anthropology. Like I know where what certain regions of Africa have what. I worked with this man. What African researched all sorts of death cults.
I don't believe it. Death cults? Come on, this is New York, okay? You can look him up. Dr. Mordecai Lemming. Look him up. He lives here. He's a nutcase. He's in Manhattan somewhere. Look him up. He's in the phone book. Talk to him about death cults. I'm a police officer. I'm here for facts. Like I said, I've got an innocent man behind bars, Mr. Hilton Adams. I want him out. Obviously, he's not the guilty party, because how can he do that when he's at Sing Sing right now?
It doesn't make sense. And what was your commanding officer's name?
Captain Robson.
Okay. Interesting. Why did he's on Mr. was guilty? Like what?
What? You know why? Because I think he's on the take. He wanted this to go away. All right? I don't know why I'm telling you this, lady. I don't know why I'm telling you this. All right? It's a long night. We had a break in the case. I got to question you before his goons get in here and end this, okay? So I need to know everything you know. I need to. What was the connection? What was Mr. Eliza's connection to death cult or whatever the hell's going on? Why does he have that symbol in his head?
Well,
did you find anything on him? Was there anything in the room?
No, the room was ransacked. The window was open. I heard a car moving outside and the fire escape bell. I think that there were more people, but they ran away. I didn't get a clear look at anything. It all just happened so fast. I heard the noises, and then this man attacked me. And he had a weird tattoo on his face, which you know about, and he said he was gonna kill me, and he's gonna kill all sorts of people.
Was there anybody else there? Was it just the one attacker? I see the windows open and the fire escape collapse. Well, how did that happen?
I don't know. They must have sabotaged their exit so that I couldn't pursue them.
Do you want to make me fast talk on that one?
That's a fast talk for sure.
Okay, fast talk. Here's
no, bad one. That's the bad one.
That is instant fail. It's a critical failure because
can I luck my way out of that?
You cannot luck your way out of a critical failure.
That's the bad one. All right,
lady, you're creating more holes and more questions, and I don't like it.
I had a friend who was with me, but he was just somebody that worked with me, and he was the one who knocked down the door because I heard these noises on the inside.
You told me you were the only one in the room. You're the only one who arrived. Now there's someone else.
Obviously, I had a chauffeur.
When are you gonna talk straight with me here, lady?
I'm talking as straight with you as I know how. And I trust you and I of the same cause. I want justice for my friend. You want answers about your corrupt officer. We can work together on this. I can help.
Well, you can start by telling me the truth. Then we can work together. The other two, what do you want to do? You're out in the car. You want to come in, or you just want to sit out there?
So Seamus looks over at Louis. He's like, I don't know about you. We just met, but I don't think that I'm going to be waltzing into the cooler. So I'm for staying here or finding someplace else to cool our heels.
You got her address, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's go there.
All right.
This is a good plan. Let's go there.
Yeah.
All right. You got to address.
She probably got swanky lady like her. She's got to have all sorts of. She's got a whole room filled with crystal and booze. No problem.
Yeah, crystal and booze.
Like decanters.
You're not wrong.
We'll cut back to Veronica and Lieutenant Poole is just like frustrated. He's like loosened his tie and he's just like his hair is shuffled down. He's like, we're getting nowhere. And he keeps looking back at the door. And as he's doing so, the door suddenly like someone tries to open it and he's locked it on the inside. And he's banging on the glass. Open the damn door, Poole! We know you're in there with the witness from tonight.
Yeah, I hand him my card, director of. Museum.
He looks at it. He slips in his breast pocket, and he looks at you, and he kind of like he looks defeated, and he opens the door, and in walk two like just gorilla-sized uniformed officers, and they just like shove him aside, like up against the wall, and in walks a big man, a tall, solidly built man, white man with gray hair, big heavy jowls, a nose that looks like it's probably been broken a few times. He's got on a real expensive tailored suit. And he's got like a little diamond pin tie. And he walks in, he gets right into Pool's face, and Pool's like, Captain Ropeson, pleasure to see you. What are you doing here tonight? He's like, cut the shit, Pool. And just sucker punches him in the gut.
Wow.
And he turns to you, and he goes, you're done here and you saw nothing.
I didn't see anything, officer. I swear. It was so scary, and it all happened so fast. I couldn't contain my womanly urge to scream and just cry.
He turns to one of the two uniformed officers. He says, take her home. Get her out of here. And like Pool's like on the floor, and he's like wincing and grimacing, holding his gut. And as you leave the room, you can hear the door close, and they just start like laying into him.
So I am actually the only friend he's got. Interesting.
Do you tell this officer where you live? He offers to drive you home.
Oh no, I say my chauffeur left my car back
The Hotel Chelsea?
Hotel Chelsea. Yeah.
I go, fine. It's a closer drive for me anyways, probably. And he drives you back to the Hotel Chelsea. It's still a buzzing with activity. There's 3 squad cars outside at this point, but your chauffeur and your car are still there.
Yeah, well, we skedaddle. And I say, make sure we're not being followed.
Yes, madam. He says.
Good boy.
So you make your way back home. So the two of you, are you sitting in the taxi waiting outside our house, or do you just kind of like, are you cat burglaring your way in, Seamus?
Yeah, no. I think we just go up to the front door and I pick the lock.
All right.
Yeah. yeah, for sure.
She invited us. I mean, she
Yeah.
invited us in. We're going in.
Yeah.
You at least. I might be third wheeler, but
right.
yeah, let's go.
You want to make me a lock-picking roll?
I'll do it.
Or locksmith, or whatever it's called? Oh, yeah, look at you. You get out your little kits. You see Louis, he pulls out a little kit, he leans down and just like starts turning
Louis
this thing. And
Louis was literally pulling his own out too at the same. No. After you. Go ahead. And put his back.
Thanks, Louis. I like to keep in practice, even with my friends. So, and after all, she did say that we could be welcome in a home, sort of.
I learned a little Spanish. I think it's like mi casa y su casa or something like that. Yeah, who knows what it is.
I don't know none of those other languages, Louis, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it should be here. They don't know what they're doing in the precinct anyway. I mean, the crime's rampant here. It should be out in like hours, no problem.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be. I mean, a swanky dame like that, she'll be cooling her heels at home within a couple hours, and we'll kick back and figure out what happened to our old friend Jackson there.
Yeah, I got some goodies that I found too. So let's say what.
We got some stuff too, off that weird turban guy that had the funny knife.
How did you know Jackson? By the way, I should say you should probably.
Jackson and I, we go back about 5 years or so. It's after the war. I was tooling around in England, and he was looking at a museum over there. Had some stuff. He was writing a book about some witches or something, and they had some stuff that they wouldn't show him. And I happened to be looking at that museum for other stuff, and we got to talking, and I got him his stuff, and I got him my stuff, and we became friends. You could say I was in acquisitions for him. He did that, but he did not put a footnote in his book about me. I was deeply disappointed about that. But he was a good egg. How about you?
Well, I wouldn't say we were friends or nothing like that, but we survived a rough expedition together. I don't want to get into it too much, but let's just say, as I was learning different languages down in South America, I was also spending a little time with Jackson. I gotta tell you though, there's a bit of irony to this. Something horrible and whatever befell him. He was always, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. This didn't happen. The things I saw, the things I told him, he never believed half the things I described. And well, Maybe he should have believed a little more, and he'd still be alive. That's all I'm saying. I don't mean to speak ill of the dead. Just
No,
you know.
yeah, I hear what you're saying, Louis. It sounds like I never been down to that's south of Mexico, right? Down there in South America.
Louis thinks for yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about none of that stuff, but he was all right by me.
No, he's an all right guy. He's a good guy. You know, he handles himself in a fight and all that kind of stuff. But you know, he hung that skeptic badge around his neck just a little too heavily, as far as I can see. Maybe open his eyes a little bit more. He can see more things. And, I mean, he ain't gonna see anything now, I guess. But
I was gonna say he's seeing nothing but the
peace.
inside of that coffin now. But you know, rest in peace and all that.
But I got a telegram from him.
You know,
Said something he needed to talk to me about. That's the only reason I was there.
So Seamus pulls out his telegram. He goes, "That's the same thing that I got. I was in Chicago and I got this telegram. I got to tell you, I kind of burned some bridges in L.A. and I was kind of in the process of burning some bridges in Chicago too. So I thought, go check out my friend Jackson Elias in New York. So what happens the day I get into New York? Like the dude turns up dead and some crazy swanky dame is shooting people in his hotel room. I don't know.
I mean, that's just the way of the world, isn't it? That's how it goes these days, you know? The 20s.
I suppose so. I suppose so.
Crazy times. But anyway, I found this. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, Louis.
I was just going to say, and so I'm going to start undoing our parts here, and I'm just going to, like, if there's a coffee table or a dining table somewhere, I mean, obviously, I will help myself. I help myself to whatever alcohol there is there.
Can't fill you. I highly doubt you can empty my stash. But
Sounds like a challenge. I would like to write a constitution test to see if Louis can. But no, I'll pull out. I'll pull out the.
I will stop you. I have a gun.
I'll pull out the. What did I get? I got the matchbox, or excuse me, the matches. I got the Penhue Foundation. Like all your travels. Seamus, is that what you said your name was? Seamus?
Yeah, you could call me Seamus, Louis.
If
I could call you Louis.
That's the only name I got, so yeah, that's fine. And I'll put it down and be like, you ever been to London in all your travels? You ever burn any bridges there?
No, yeah, I was in after the war. I stuck around in England for a while. That's where I met Jackson.
Then you might have heard of this one, the Penhue Foundation. You ever heard of this before?
Oh no, Louis. You're talking above my head there. I stay a little closer to the streets, but
okay. What about Shanghai? And I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the matchbox now. You ever burned some bridges in Shanghai?
Can't. Where is that? Is that south of Brooklyn?
I mean, technically, I think, yeah.
I don't think I know no Shanghai.
It's all right. It's a ways. It's a ways. Okay. You don't know anyone by the name of Warren Bayside or nothing, do you?
No, I definitely don't owe that fella no money, so I don't.
Just running through everything, and then I'll be like, all right. I'll just fold it back up and start tucking it back in and everything.
Seamus is horribly uneducated.
I love this.
I think they both are.
No.
Now Louis got some education.
Oh,
Louis, half of this is Louis in act. He plays down so that people don't take him too seriously, so he can observe a little bit easier. But yeah, Louis smarter than he looks. Which is not hard because he looks like he just got run over by a truck. So
Seamus will start to pull out all the stuff we found on the body, and I said, "Well, I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of this stuff either, Louis. I was going to wait for Mrs. West to get back, but this is the stuff we took off of the body of the whack job who put the hit on Jackson." And that's the business card from Emerson Imports and the Harvard University professors and the playbill for the Court of Darkness that we missed from tonight.
Matt, wasn't the Emerson one in New York? As a local New Yorker, would I have any
Emerson Imports?
inkling?
You've probably had no interaction with it, but you know exactly where it would be located when you see the address.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah.
West 47th? Yeah,
it's in. I'll tell you this. It's in Harlem. Oh no, Emerson Imports is not in Harlem. Sorry.
Yep.
I apologize. I misspoke. Yes. So you got Emerson Imports. It's here in New York. You know exactly where that would be, and you got that name Silas Naquan written on the back.
Nice.
Yeah. Emerson's right here in Manhattan, West 47th. Just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Well, maybe after we reconvene with the Mrs. West, we can figure out what all the pieces of this puzzle mean. Or maybe the two of you can figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here to help, but I don't reckon I understand too much of what's going on here.
Well, I think what we got is we got a guy who got murdered, and he got murdered because he knew something. He was into something he shouldn't have been. That's the long and short of it. I'm sure more complicated than that, obviously, but
you some sort of gumshoe, Louis?
Yeah, that's a word for it. That's PI is fine with me. But you don't kill a man and spill his intestines onto the floor of a hotel. That's just not, you don't see that too often. Usually, someone gets shot, maybe punched, stabbed, pushed, hit with one of those cars, maybe a mule kicks you, something like that. But no, you never. This is new. You don't know. This doesn't happen every day.
I mean, I've seen the boys in Chicago do some work, but I never seen nobody carve nothing in somebody's head like that.
What was carved in his head?
It was this weird symbol, and Seamus will try to draw it out. It was all looked like some moons and some squiggly lines. I
don't know. Would Louis have any? Is there anything on it that Louis might be able to recognize from his previous excursion down to Peru or his time with Quentin or anything like that?
Okay, so Quentin uncovered a lot of things with really good rolls connected to stuff later in this campaign. Let me take a look here. There is a chance that this will ring a bell. You got your drinks being mixed. You turned on the radio. You made yourselves at home, the two of you.
Mm-hmm. I'm wringing out my socks because they got all wet and in the sink, and talking over yeah. So you said there's like moons or something, and just wringing them out.
Yeah, some carved moons on the side, and then a star in the middle or something with some lines coming off it. I've never seen nothing like it, Louis.
Make me an intelligence roll.
Intelligence.
Kind of jog your memory. This was years ago.
50,
this is like a 50-50 chance for you. All right.
Hey,
nice.
You remember Tintin talking about something? He found some symbols when you guys were down in Peru and started talking about this crazy cult out of Kenya called the Cult of the Bloody Tongue. And you swear that this symbol he found in the books when he was going through the books there in Peru and talking about these things. You guys kind of all wrote him off as crazy. This symbol was a symbol that was associated with the Cult of the Bloody Tongue.
You're a religious man, Seamus. God, devil, all that kind of thing.
I believe in the good book, Louis. I can't say that I've been to church a lot in the last few years, but my mom and dad before they passed on, we went to church at least on Christmas.
Okay, so just kind of casual. Well, then not everybody's casual about it. So I had this friend. I mean, friend might be extreme, but I mean associate down in Peru. Odd fella. Brilliant, one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. But he read some good books and puts a few things together. And I swear to you, and I'm, it's been a while. I've admittedly I have consumed excessive quantities of alcohol in the past 5 years, but I'll tell you, this thing looks familiar. It looks. I mean, it sounds familiar. He had this theory that there's these different, what do they call it? Cults, something like that. We were down in Peru, South America, and he was like, no. Some of these things is Africa. And Africa's like a whole continent away. It's like there's an ocean between, that kind of thing. So on the same day that I'm coming to meet old friend Jackson Elias, who gets his intestines ripped out, I see a symbol that another old friend down in Peru, where I met Jackson Elias, says is from a death cult of some kind, some bloody tongue or whatever in Kenya. This doesn't sound like coincidence. It doesn't sound.
I don't know what we're getting ourselves into here, Louis. This sounds like some very shady business. I mean, I'm used to some slightly shady business. I walk on one side of the law, but this is a little bit crazy for me.
Yeah, it was a little crazy for Jackson too. I got stories.
It was very crazy. Well, at least tonight was very crazy for Jackson. But God rest his soul.
And the Jackson showed up like no excuse. Clink.
I'm gonna say, Veronica, you're coming home at this point. It's been a few hours. These two have kind of been talking, and you get to the door of, you live in a very posh apartment in New York, and you can hear the radio blaring from inside your apartment. You hear drinks being made, clinking of ice. The two voice of two gentlemen just kind of like in casual conversation with one another inside your apartment.
Yeah, the gun is drawn. I look through the keyhole, probably seeing it's them. Actually, wait, do kilos work like that? I've never done this before. Whatever. Gun up. She unlocks her door, pops in. You know, she's ready to shoot to kill.
You see the two of them. They're sitting there. They like made themselves at home. They're sprawled out on two different couches. Louis he's barefoot. He's got socks on and shoes.
I'll be like, 2 hours. They just put you through the express lane, I guess.
Hey, Mrs. West. It's good to see you, Mrs. West. Thanks for the digs. It's a good place to cool your heels.
I suppose you came in through the chimney.
Oh, no. We came right in through the front door. You're locked. Yeah, you need a much better lock than that, Mrs. West.
I will expect you to advise me on what I should have lock-wise in the future. Namely, what you can't crack.
Well, that's going to be a very small list, Mrs. West, but I'll be happy to tell you. Because I took a look around your place. You got some nice stuff, but nothing that I'd want to, nick. So you're okay.
Let's talk turkey. You folks obviously are here.
You got turkey in here?
I didn't see no turkey, Louis. When I looked in the refrigerator, I didn't see any turkey. I didn't eat the turkey.
I haven't eaten since breakfast. Is all I'm saying.
There's probably not much in my refrigerator. I usually get lunch out of town. But yes. So, I've learned some things from the police department, and I'm assuming you've been talking about what has happened. So, let's all make sure that we're on the same page here. This man's been murdered. We all want to find out who did it and why, for various reasons. But I in particular want to find out because it's going to make an absolutely excellent publicity stunt for me. But we can get into that future in the future. Let's discuss what we have on the table.
Well, Louis and I were talking about that. I can't make heads or tails of none of this stuff. It's just, but Louis was saying something about some kind of death cult and bloody tongues. I don't know, Louis. What was that all about?
Yeah, the Seamus say he got something carved in his forehead there. Might have some sort of like cult-like significance to a certain group in Africa. This ain't my expertise. We need to consult someone with a little bit more rigorous academic background, of course, but I got an old friend.
Dr. Mordecai Lemming is an expert on this particular phenomenon, I should think. We'll give him a ring, maybe, when it's not so late in the evening.
There's also that matchbook. I mean, I don't know none of this highfalutin, educated book stuff, but I know how to go into a bar. I mean, the Stumbling Tiger sounds like an okay place by me. Is that around here, Louis?
No, that ain't in these parts.
It's in Jersey.
Yeah, that's out in Jersey. You don't want to go there. It's crazy. Just People,
Oh.
bronze and orange. It's like a different planet.
I tell you, I don't know much about the geographies of these places, so you got to keep me straight there.
You know, I was born in Jersey. They say I'll die there too. Looks like this is from Shanghai, and
Look at
Look
around
at
her place. Born in Jersey, huh? Okay. Okay.
Yes. I've moved up. I kind of look at it and I'm like, Shanghai. And then I grab the picture of the boat and I'm like, these are Chinese junks. I wonder if there's a connection between these two establishments. And I look over the whole all the clues and stuff, kind of like pile them on my coffee table and in some sort of semblance of an order.
Well, what are you thinking there, Mrs. West?
I'm thinking I need something stiff. You look like you're the kind of person who knows how to make a drink. I point at the drunk person.
I don't know how to make one. I know how to drink them. I just slide the bottle over. I don't see the point in mixing it together. That just seems like wasteful.
Fine, this is good liquor. I pour myself a shot of bourbon, I'm guessing. And then I kind of, I look over the things more and I say, so while I was in the interrogation room, thank you for giving me the moment to talk with some cooler heads. I met a certain Lieutenant Poole, who seems to be perhaps one of the only innocent members of this precinct run by Captain Robeson. And this gentleman does not strike me as the kind of person who would be all that peachy keen if we successfully cracked this case. I think he's indicated as being quote unquote on the take. Now, I'm not sure what sort of mafiosa organization is paying cops to ignore this type of affair, but it's certainly not your standard issue mafia killing, insofar as I'm aware. So this man's probably in on something. Something we want to find out more about. Yes,
I would definitely say it's not none of the boys' work. I don't think Jackson would be mixing with no hooch runners or nothing. So I think you got the right of that. This don't strike me as any kind of work from the mob. Louis, I don't know New York mobsters, but I know no boy in Chicago would hit somebody like this. Ain't no button man in Chicago is gonna come at somebody with a crazy knife and a turban.
Jackson doesn't seem to short to get tied up in that either. So I don't really see, especially we got all these other things left, right, and center pointing at us. This ain't got nothing to do. This ain't got nothing to do with the families.
Dr. Mordecai Lemming has heard of... Oh, sorry. Let me back up for a second. There have been other killings perpetrated by men with similar symbols on their heads as the one we just saw. In here, no less, New York. And Captain Robeson's been covering them up. Dr. Mordecai Lemming seems to think that there is a connection between them and African death cults of some sort.
Well, you ain't wrong with the death cult thing.
It was our dear departed's line of work.
Yeah, maybe. Matt, would Louis know anything about, considering Louis is a private eye who periodically works with law enforcement in New York,
Yes.
would he have any insight into this rash of murders that's being covered up?
The murders we publicized. So you are aware, living here in New York, you have heard these things have been going over, happening over the course of 2 years. these murders,
Okay.
these people with these symbols being carved in their heads. And they were all done, it seems like, with knives or some sort of cutting weapon that these people are killed. There was no rhyme or reason to them. And it was rejoiced when they brought this man, this Hilton Adams, in for these crimes. And he's currently serving and on death row at Sing Sing. So you are aware of these, and you've seen this before. So it is odd now that Veronica has mentioned this. You're like, oh wait, yeah, this doesn't add up. This made the papers. This was a big deal. Case was closed.
Wouldn't be the first time they got it wrong. Wouldn't be the first time they got it wrong and covered it up. All I know is we've got, like 7-8 pieces of paper here. We got names, we got places, some of them right here in New York, some of them up the road in Mass. I mean, there's a few places I think we could check out pretty quickly. Got Emerson Imports right on the corner. You got this, whatever this talk was, might not have happened today, yesterday, whenever, but we can, I mean, the professor, we can ring them up. They got a department, we can talk to them.
Absolutely. I have quite the connections in that department.
Prospero House, his publisher, is also another lead here that you are aware of, that it's based out of New York. There's that letter that you received that was addressed care of.
We may
letter
want to
to
stop.
Harvard, care of Prospero House in Lexington Avenue, New York City. So you know Prospero House is here.
Yeah. And then there's the what was the thing? Wasn't there like a talk,
Yeah, there was a talk
A
one night
flyer for
only,
talk.
Cult of Darkness. So you know it's with Professor Anthony Cowles, who is currently based out of Miskatonic University. So you could always ring.
but the talk was at NYU. Yeah.
It was at NYU, yeah, Schuler Hall. You don't have a date of when that took place, though. You can always go to NYU and poke around and ask.
Okay.
I mean, presumably they have a secretary. People have phones now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could ring it.
Rotary.
I could ring them. I've got my cell phone.
Pretty late though now, right? Like,
Yeah,
I was gonna
it'd be
say,
like
well, it is
10
so
o'clock,
I
late.
think.
The three of you have kind of drank through the night. You're trying to put clues together. You're trying to figure this out. You've been thrown in a wild situation. All of a sudden, there's a thud at the door as the newspaper is delivered in the morning, and you all kind of like look up and you realize what time it is. It's like 6 in the morning. You've been up all night dealing with this. None of you are tired. None of you are really quite drunk either. Just kind of the shock of everything that has taken place. But the New York Times is at your doorstep.
Well, I do like reading it. I have a clipping of it in my purse.
Yeah, you
I'll
grab
take.
You grab the Times, and on the front page, there is an article on there. Author, murdered by brutal killers. Body found in Hotel Chelsea. Possible connections to Harlem murders. Manhattan, New York, January 15th. Author Jackson Elias has been found murdered in his Chelsea hotel room. The killers are reported to have used long knives to butcher their victim. Lieutenant Martin Poole of the murder squad stated that he is exploring possible connections between this murder and similar slayings in Harlem last year. Local resident Hilton Adams was convicted of Harlem murders in October last and is awaiting execution at Sing Sing. Lieutenant Poole offered no opinion whether this new murder indicates that Adams had accomplices or is innocent of his earlier crimes. You find that article right on the cover about your friend, and out of curiosity, you flip to the obituaries, and you do find an obituary for Jackson Elias, and it mentions a funeral January 17th at 2 p.m. at Cypress Hill Cemetery in Brooklyn. So it's currently January 16th. So you also know that there's a funeral being held for him. Also where you might be able to maybe bump into or run into some possible acquaintances or other people or find some clues.
I have so many great outfits for funerals.
I think that's a good place to leave it off at, because it also gives us a good point for our other players to jump in at if they all meet at a funeral or something like that. We got a lot of leads. We got to figure out where we want to go from here. There's I can tell you right now, these leads turn into more leads in New York alone. So we got lots going on. Let's do the round table. Aaron, what do you got going on this week?
Tomorrow I'll be playing some more Call of Cthulhu on Garblag Games at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I'll be in 1942 Tobruk, Libya, taking on the Black Sun Nazi organization with Akchung Cthulhu. Then Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Blades in the Dark.
Blades in the Dark. So hopefully it'll happen.
And then Yeah, that rounds out my week.
Pat, what do you got going on this week?
Aside from taking off the wig and dramatic. Oh, yeah. So Diesel Shot is doing stuff this week. What is today? Tuesday. Tomorrow we have our sponsored game of Worlds Without Numbers. Don't miss it. We're
Awesome.
super working with Fool's Moon to produce this amazing show. Some of my favorite Twitter users are on the channel. Shout out to Corrupt the Spirit if she's here in the chat. And on Thursday, we are returning after a stint doing our sponsored game of Fat Magic, which just successfully ran its Kickstarter. They killed it. Fucking knocked him dead. We're returning to our Uranium Fever show, which is, the Fallout verse. I've got a vault suit. I get all hussied up for it. It's great stuff. Let me think. On Friday, I'm back on Garblag Games for Vampire the Masquerade.
Ooh, it returns.
World Builder, nigh. Oh shit, no, I'm at work. Anyway, don't miss it though. I might not be there, but don't miss it. Garblag Games Friday. I won't be there, unfortunately. Very sad about that. Spoke too soon. Saturday, I will be running a game of Mothership, probably on the channel Diesel Shot, 8:30 till whenever, EST. And on Monday, we return to High Roads. We skipped this week. Lee was out of town. We're coming back to High Roads Monday. Don't miss it. And of course, next Tuesday, right back here.
Back to Masks and Nyarlathotep. And Jeff, what do you got going on this week?
Yeah, twitch.tv/lollygaggers. Friday, we're taking a 1 week break from Delta Green we're down a player. So we're going to do a little one shot of a game called Trophy Dark, a little horror fantasy. Saturday, we're doing Worlds Without Number. Monday, we're back to Alien, where we're continuing our Cinders of Heaven campaign, Chapter 3, with Colonial Marines. And tomorrow night, I'll be over on Defenders of Cobalt as we have started up a Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. So you can always check that out as well.
Cool. Yeah, and Thursday night, I'll be here with Jeff and Aaron doing Blades in the Dark, and Sunday night on the Free League channel doing more Alien with Aaron and others. Thanks everybody who joined us tonight. We kicked off, this is a massive, this is a mega campaign. We're going to do it in pieces like we did the last one. We'll get New York out of the way, and then we'll move on to the next place, and the next place, the next place. And we're going to make our way through Masks and Nyarlathotep. So thank you everybody who joined us for session 1. Kicked it all off, the death of our dear friend Jackson Elias. We'll see you next week, Tuesday. Have a great week. I'm going to roll us out on Millie's awesome intro again. Good night, everybody.